this video, I'm going to describe the Identifying Important Science Ideas practice in the context of the On a Budget data puzzle. So the goal of this practice is to identify the important science ideas that are introduced in an interactive reading we call the puzzle plot text. And so we're going to do that by connecting these science ideas from the reading back to science ideas that were elicited during the opening scenario. We have students summarize key ideas introduced in the puzzle plot text by creating an annotated sketch, which will serve as their kind of de facto initial model. And then we have students identify and make predictions about the investigative question that scientists are seeking to answer. And students will test their predictions for this investigative question in part 3 by analyzing an authentic data set. So with the interactive reading, we've had teachers facilitate this in a number of different ways. Some have had their whole class read the puzzle plot text aloud, pausing to discuss any graphics or watch any embedded videos together as a whole class. Other teachers have had students read the text in small groups and stop after a paragraph or a page to watch any videos that are embedded in the text, and others have had students read the text individually. We'd encourage you, if you have close reading strategies that your students have utilized or you have utilized in the past, to bring those out and have students underline or highlight and annotate the text however you see fit. So after engaging with the opening scenario and eliciting students' ideas about a similar event, something similar to what they'll engage with in the data puzzle, and introducing Jen, now it's time to learn more about Jen's research by reading this puzzle plot text, either individually, small groups, or as a whole class. And so when students are reading the text, what we ask them to do is to circle the investigative question that the scientist is seeking to answer. And in this case, for the On a Budget data puzzle, the question that Jen is seeking to answer is, why might the Arctic be warming faster than other places on Earth? And then we ask students to underline any similarities that they see between the reading and the opening scenario and be ready to discuss that. And so now you'd give students the opportunity to engage with the text, to do these 2 tasks. And when students have finished reading the text, watching the videos, looking at the graphics, it's time to make connections between the text and the opening scenario where student experiences were elicited. So making the connections between a new phenomena and something that they are more familiar with is critical before we move forward. And so we have some prompts here to help that happen, get students thinking about how they would know if their financial budget is out of balance, and then thinking about how scientists would know if Earth's energy budget is out of balance. So making students think about this and then share their thinking with the class. We have more sunlight coming in, more energy going out, more energy being absorbed. What's happening here? After making those connections, it's time for students to kind of summarize these new science ideas by completing 3 tasks. 1, they're going to be asked to draw and describe Earth's energy budget when it's perfectly balanced, when temperatures aren't increasing or decreasing. We're going to have them record the investigative question and then make a prediction about the investigative question. So I'm going to move now to the student worksheet so we can look at that together. And so here's that student worksheet for the On a Budget data puzzle. We've got the puzzle plot text, talk about the different types of energy that are coming from the sun to the Earth, and then the types of energy that the Earth is emitting. We've got a schematic here that shows shortwave energy coming in from the sun, some of that being reflected, some of that being absorbed by the Earth. The Earth emits a different kind of energy, this long wave energy, heat energy. So this is kind of like an example model of something that students might be manipulating later in the data puzzle. And then we've got some information about how Earth's energy budget is out of balance, particularly the Arctic This is a data visualization showing temperature anomalies from 1880 to 2021. And in this 30-second video, as we move toward the present, the Arctic gets redder and redder and redder, representing a rapidly warming environment. And so NASA's CERES project is studying the Earth, in particular the Arctic energy budget, by looking at how much energy is coming in and how much energy is going out of the Arctic. So students would then be asked to draw and describe Earth's energy budget when it's perfectly balanced. We'd expect students to have some shortwave energy coming in and some long-wave energy going out. A brief description of their annotated sketch of what they're thinking. A space to record the investigative question, and then a space to make a prediction about the investigative question that they will then test in part 3 by analyzing an Arctic data set.